Hello everyone, my name is TJ Peach and welcome to my channel, Just a Peachy Life. On this channel I'll be sharing with you lots of recipes and meal prep, freezer meals especially, just things that kind of help your life get a little more organized during the week as far as your feeding your family is concerned. So if you like those type of things, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you can watch all of my content. So today I'm sharing with you a few lunch wrap ideas that I like to keep on hand in the freezer. They're great for days where you haven't planned in advance, and it's good to have stuff on hand that you can just grab, throw into a lunch container and into your kids' lunch or your husband's lunch, whichever, and very handy to have around so that you don't have to constantly make lunch every single day. So let's get into it. Alright, so I'm starting off making some buffalo chicken ranch wraps, and this is the chicken here that I usually use. It's this, the white chicken breast that you buy at Costco, the Kirkland brand. Of course, you can use any kind of chicken that you like, but I just find this convenient because you can keep it on hand at any time and just pull it from your pantry. So I'm going to use 2 cans of that today for the number that I'm making. And I call them wraps, but they're really more of like, they look more like a quesadilla. All right, so to the chicken, I'm going to add some ranch, and you can use any type that you like. This one here is the Kraft ranch with bacon. You can also add bacon to it too. I've done that before, and Brad really likes them. I'm getting a little low, so hence the sounds. And then I'm also going to use some hot sauce, and use whatever kind that you like. Now there aren't any particular measurements. This is really just a to taste thing. So depending on what you like. Brad likes them spicy. He likes to taste the buffalo, so. And these are pretty much, Brad's the only one that takes these. He likes to take them for lunch. So I like to make these up so he has something to grab to take to work with him to have for lunch. So I'm just going to mix that all in really good. Make sure you're getting the ranch and the buffalo all mixed through. I guess you could call it branch because it's buffalo and ranch mixed together. Like I said, just do it to taste, so however much you think you would like, do that. Put more or less of each of the ingredients in. But you just want to make sure that it's flavorful. And that's all that we're going to mix in there. So next we are going to, so there's what the mixture looks like. Now we're going to use some cheese, and we're going to make them into wraps, or like I said, they kind of look like quesadillas. So, just going to put a bit of cheese down. I like to try to do a couple at a time. So I just put some wax paper down so I could lay out my tortillas. And put a little cheese, that helps it to stick. Now we'll take some of the chicken. Just kind of smush it down. Get it to fill or cover 1/2 of it, just like that. In the meantime, I also have a frying pan heating up, so we're going to toast these up in the frying pan just like you would with a quesadilla. And I'm making a mess because that's what I do. Start with those 2 to get them in the pan. Now we'll put a bit more cheese down, and that will again will help the sides to stick and add a bit more flavor. So we're just going to fold them over get them into our frying pan. Just slide you over here so you can see. There we go. And get the other one in too. So I always try to get 2 more ready while the first 2 are cooking. And that way you kind of just go assembly line style. So I'm gonna keep making some while we go. Keep getting some more ready. Bit of cheese. And you could measure out the chicken if you wanted to try to make sure that you're getting the same amount in each one, but I'm just going to live on the edge and be a rebel here. Just eyeball it. You could always put a little extra sauce in there too if you wanted to like squirt some extra ranch or some like chipotle mayo or something like that would probably be good. Or like I said, you could also add some slices of bacon. Feel free to jazz them up however you like. Okay, let's get it again. And a little bit more cheese. And then we're gonna go flip the first guys. There we go. Yeah, once they get going here, they don't take very long. So there's what they look like. And then I just pulled them out, put them in a meal prep container. Make sure make sure this other side is done. Okay, so I just put them in my meal prep container. And then I move on to the next ones, and I'll keep layering them in the container. So now it's going to sizzle because it's been heating for a bit longer. Okay, so here's our first wraps all done. The buffalo chicken ranch wraps. And what I like to do is just stack them all into the lunch prep container or meal prep container. And I use some little wax paper sheets in between, keeps them from sticking to each other, and you can easily pull them apart when you need just one to throw into your lunch. So I would label the container and throw it into the freezer for future lunches. All right, next up we are going to make some chicken quesadillas. Now I make these I keep them kind of plain because my daughter is quite fussy and doesn't like extra things like vegetables or salsa or anything like that. But so I just do the chicken and cheese in these ones. But if I'm making them for my husband and I, we'll add like grilled mushrooms or peppers, onions, pico de gallo, or just salsa, things like that. But again, it's just easier to make the plain chicken and cheese, and then we can just add other things to ours when we want to. So we can just serve it with a side of sour cream, salsa, or guacamole. Just depends on what we have on hand and what our mood is. So these, just putting the cheese down on top of the tortilla and the chicken. Now you can use any type of chicken that you like. We happen to have a store that sells these, it's giant bags of already cooked chicken, and it's actually fajita chicken that has some spice on it already. And it's a giant bag. I gotta check to see what the actual weight is, but it's only $20 for a bag, and I mean, it is a lot of chicken. So if we buy those, it's quite convenient, so I can just grab them, throw them into the wraps, and move on. The chicken's also great for if you want to throw it on top of nachos or any of that kind of stuff as well. But I also use leftover rotisserie chicken or chicken that we've roasted from another meal. So you can use any type of chicken here. It doesn't have to be specifically fajita, and you can leave it plain, or you can add some fajita or taco seasoning to it to give it a little more kick. So now I'm just going to keep toasting these up in the frying pan and then stack them into my meal prep containers. Just showing you there how I like to stack them. And the wax paper I use in between, it's sold as, it's called patty paper, so it'd be like the little squares that you can get for putting in between your hamburger patties when you make them. And the last one here that we're doing is, again, another quesadilla, but this one is going to be a taco beef one. The taco beef you can cook fresh, or I like to cook some up and mix up the taco seasoning into it and store that in the freezer as well. So you have it on hand when you want to throw some on top of nachos or into a taco salad, or again, make tacos or quesadillas. It's just very versatile to have on hand. So I also got one of those, everyone seems to have them now, those meat mashers, and it really, really crumbles the beef up. You can see there like how fine the beef is in little pieces. It certainly breaks it up very well. So again, I just layered some cheese and some taco beef. Then I'll put some more cheese and fold it over and put it into the pan. Again, feel free to add other ingredients to it, but my picky child won't eat them if I send them with other stuff in it. So I just do them like that. So here's what all of the wraps look like when they're all finished. I label the containers with what each one is, since they do look pretty much the same looking in on them, except when you see the centers. Again, I use that green painter's tape on the side of my meal prep containers. It's very convenient because it doesn't leave any sticky residue on your containers, comes off very easily, and it doesn't fall off when it's in the freezer, so it's great. So those were the chicken quesadillas, and now I'm going to show you the buffalo chicken ranch wraps. So they're all labeled nice and neatly. Put the covers on, and into the freezer they will go. So I ended up getting 20 wraps out of these 3 different types. So that's going to keep us stocked for lunches for the next little bit, and all I'll have to do is pack it each day and not have to make lunch every day. Okay, I'm just going to show you guys some of my meal prep containers. So as you can see, I have quite a few. These ones here on the shelf, those are all the same size. So they're great for like single meals. And then up the top I have some larger ones that I'll use for like wraps and things like that. And then smaller ones. So it just really depends what I'm making, which size I want. I have some reusable containers there I'll use for like spaghetti sauce and frozen vegetables, those kind of things. And I also do have some, of the bowl type as well. So I'll use those for chili or soups or breakfast bowls, that kind of stuff. They look like in my freezer. So as I showed you, I use the painter's tape, so that way I can clearly see what each item is without having to pull them out and look at them. Then that's just the miscellaneous crap that I have to clean up. But this is what the containers look like of what I have in the freezer at the moment. And then I just pull stuff out as I need it and restock.